Hey, today I'm doing a quick plant haul. I've gotten a few things in the past few months that are pretty cool. I didn't get all of these at the same time. They've kind of just come from different shops, but I do have some really special stuff in here. I have some new Huperzias, I have some Anthuriums, and then I have some kind of just miscellaneous succulent, kind of cool plants. So I think I'll probably start with the Huperzia. If you don't know about Huperzia, they're a really cool genus of trailing plants. I'll show you. This first one is one that I already had, but unfortunately I killed it. So this right here, that's why I'm standing, so I can like stand back and actually show you the whole thing. This is Huperzia phlegmaria. So I had one of these previously, but unfortunately it was doing really well and growing really well for a time, but I messed up. I think I watered it too much and it rotted. Excuse me, River, do you have to pick corn off right while I'm doing my video? You haven't done that for like weeks. You haven't been interested in your corn and now you're picking it off once I start filming? Yeah? Okay, fine. Anyways, these Huperzias are really like strange plants. They're not really like any other genus that I've cared for. They grow from the base, but what will happen sometimes is that they will rot off at the base and this whole thing will kind of just fall off. And unfortunately, you can't propagate them like a regular plant, where if this was a Hoya or something, you could just, if it was rotting, cut it and root it from the base. But you can't do that with Huperzias. You basically have to root them from like these tips where they branch and you have the like active growing tip. So they're very difficult to propagate and they're very slow to grow. So if you happen to kill them like I did, basically restarting them, you can't just do it like you can with a Hoya. So this is a import. Heather from We Pot Plants ordered some of these in. I did like a pre-order and I got them from her unacclimated. I've had these for a couple weeks now. I'll have to check the actual date. So what I did when I got them, they were in sphagnum moss? They were wrapped, the root ball was like wrapped in sphagnum moss, and then it was actually growing in like coco coir, and the roots were actually pretty decent. So what I've done is I just moved them right into a self-watering pot because I found in my journey, this is not a new one, this is one I already had. This is my Huperzia scarosa, and it's the only Huperzia that has survived. It's the only one I had up until getting some new ones. But you can see all of this is new growth. Like it's honestly thriving. And I just made a little like self-watering setup for it. I didn't even change the substrate. It's still in like a coco coir or a cocoa husk, I think, based substrate. And that seems to be better for it. I haven't had any fronds like rot off since I did that. So I think that kind of like consistent moisture is better for them. So that's what I'm trying with the ones I imported. I just moved them straight into self-watering. This next one, this is Huperzia nummularifolia. This one was on my wish list and I actually asked Heather if she could get this one in from her supplier when I saw she was ordering some of the other ones. I love this one because of the little like scale like foliage. I just think that's so pretty. This one is a little bit more like diminutive than the other ones. Obviously the phlegmaria is huge. Oh, these were each around $100, by the way, which is a totally reasonable price considering how long these plants take to grow. This one seems to be doing really good. I'm not noticing too much stress from the import process. I've just been leaving them in room humidity. I probably should put them in high humidity. This one I probably could, but the other ones are honestly too big. I don't really have a spot for them. I'd have to put them in my Anthurium cabinet, and I don't really have room right now. All my Anthuriums are getting too big, but they seem to be doing okay. There are a few of the leaves kind of drying up. I don't know if you can see that, but as long as the base is not rotting, then I'm not too concerned because new fronds will also like grow from the base. but if the base rots, then you're kind of out of luck for the whole thing. These ones have been doing really good so far in terms of acclimating and whatever. Now, this Huperzia, this last one, I think this is probably my favorite out of the three. And it's also the biggest, at least the longest, I think, out of the three. So this is Huperzia Hang Hong. If I hold it, I want you to get a good look. My monster is actually in the way. Can you actually see the whole thing, how long it is? This is gorgeous. So Solarium on Instagram had one of these that I absolutely fell in love with. I had no idea where on earth you could get them. I actually got a small cutting from her. River, come here. River. River just tried to fly to it. For some reason, he's actually like obsessed with my Huperzia. Fortunately, he hasn't gotten a chance to like snip them off yet, but he did this with my last one, with my Carinata triangle that was very similar to this one. He just went and like snipped off a bunch of these vines. And like I said, you can't propagate the long vines. You can really only propagate the tips. So I don't know how, come here, baby. Come on, come here. He flew up to my lamp. Come on, come here. I don't know how he knows just the plants that are like the most difficult to grow, the ones that take the longest, because he does the same thing with my Burrow's Tail succulent. He's obsessed with it. Most of the other plants he leaves alone, but these long dangly ones that take forever to grow are like, he's like obsessed with them. He's like, what are you doing? I've already had to like remove him a few times, so I think he knows he's not allowed, but sometimes he will like push the limits a little bit. Anyways, this plant is super gorgeous. The leaves are almost a little bit glossy, so they have this really beautiful like shimmering effect when the light hits them. I prefer this to my Carinata triangle that I had. It's also very long. This cultivar seems to be known for that, for getting like really long vines. You see some like the Nummularifolia are shorter before they start branching, whereas this one, the branches are quite long before they like branch a second time. This one is actually the one I'm noticing the most kind of import stress on. So you can see that like some of these vines are yellowing, which is okay. Again, to check if the vine is still healthy, I will do like a tug at the soil, because if they're rotten, that's the worst thing. A little bit of yellowing, I don't really mind. And it's only some of the branches. I feel like the longer ones are still quite healthy, but it's some of these shorter ones that were maybe, you see how the tip is already like dried up. So it's very possible that that was already kind of unhealthy before it was imported, and the fact that it was imported just kind of makes it that much more like susceptible. Having a few leaves drop off doesn't really bother me, but obviously I'd rather not lose the whole vine. So you should be able to see like this branch is already pretty dried up on the end, and that's the one that is going yellow. It's the branch that's already not healthy, but then like this one is fine. So I think it'll be okay. I might see if I can find room for it in my greenhouse cabinet just to give it as best of a chance as possible, because I really don't want to lose this, especially those long fronds. Like, I just think that's so awesome. It feels really nice just to just run your hands through too. So this is probably one of my favorite plants that I've gotten in a while, but there's some really special ones coming as well. So you should never say you have a favorite. I think I'll show you some of the random ones next. Here's a really cool one that was on my wish list. This is a variegated spiral ginger, which I knew they were around, and they're not extremely rare, I would say, but they've only kind of just now become available in Canada. Just look at that variegation. Isn't that gorgeous? I actually love this plant, and when I got it, it was just this. I've had it for a while, so it's already given me some other sprouts. It seems to just like kind of spontaneously pup itself. And these leaves came out almost all yellow, but they seem to be getting more variegation as they grow, which is awesome. That's what we want. Yeah, it's just cool because it grows in a like spiral pattern, and the variegation is so pretty, and it's been super easy so far. Just, I think, pretty thirsty. These do get quite big. I think in some places they use them outdoors in landscaping, just to like give you an idea. They can get like really tall, but I figure I'll just kind of keep trimming it, and keeping it in a small pot will kind of slow down its growth a bit. So I'm not too worried. I think at this size, it is actually so pretty. Let me see if I can show you some of the variegation up close. It actually hardens off to a pretty nice white variegation, in my opinion. See, look at that. It's maybe more on the creamy side, but that's just too pretty. That is just too nice. We love that. Very happy about that one. I got this one from Signature Tropicals. Another variegated plant, and this one is a bit hypocritical because, spoiler, it's a variegated alocasia, and I kind of hate on variegated alocasias a lot. River, please don't do that. I do stand by the fact that they are unnecessary and overpriced, but you know what? I am being influenced. I really wanted a Alocasia watsoniana. I actually think that the non-variegated version is super pretty. And honestly, I haven't really seen the non-variegated versions, but the variegated versions have been coming out in tissue culture. So this wasn't cheap, but at least the thing with alocasias is they pop themselves quite easily. And in the past, when I've had like my Alocasia Frydek, kind of when they were just first coming out, I got more than what I paid for the plant back. Like, it's very easy to sell variegated alocasias if you can grow them well, and hopefully this plant gives me some pop. So I didn't buy it as like an investment plant, but I kind of know that that's an option, you know what I mean? Or at least I can justify spending a bit more on it, because I think it'll be a while before the prices of these go way down. Anyways, this I think is called like Albo/pink. I think it just depends on how you see the plant. So watsoniana has, I think, a reddish tone on the back of the leaves, which will sometimes shine through more to the front of the leaves, but the leaves that have come out in my care so far are more on the white side, which is what I wanted. I'm not as much into the pink variegation. I think some alocasias it looks good on, but it's hard to know how much of that is just lighting, but I prefer like the Albo variegation that you get on like a Frydek or something. So this one I'm excited to see grow because I have wanted the non-variegated version. I think it's really cool, the shape of it. And honestly, I kind of just miss having alocasias around. I only really have, I think I have my mycorrhiza variegated, my reticulata, and I have mellow, and that's it. So I kind of just miss watching these guys grow, and they grow so fast, and it's really fun with variegation to see how the next leaf is going to come out. So yeah, I'm kind of warming up to the variegated alocasias, if nothing else, just because they're fun to grow. I got a couple succulents. This one has been on my wish list for a while. This is Tetracactus geometricus, I believe. It's a bit shriveled. It's not rooted yet, I don't think. I think it was bare root, but it hasn't rotted in my care, so that's good. I'm not particularly a cactus fan, but I have always kind of had this one on my wish list because I think it looks really cool once you get a really mature specimen and you have just like these spheres like attached to each other. Like, I know it's a little wonky looking right now, but this one I'm willing to put in the time and the patience to actually grow it out as long as it cooperates. So that's one I'm happy that I finally have. And this pot is handmade. It was gifted to me by 0 Year, and I will link the potter in the description. I won't dwell too long on this one, but I got a variegated Huperzias, but it's got really nice like black and orange coloration. Sorry, it's hard to see, and it's not like fully rooted yet, so I want to be like careful with it. I'm kind of excited to grow that one out. And then the last ones that I got that are way cooler in person than I thought they were going to be. Oh no, I got rocks in my water. It's not bad. I will have to look up the name again. These are 2 different species. You can sun stress these and they look really cool. They get a lot more like globular, I'd say, on the ends. And this keeps freaking me out because it looks like mealybugs, but I think it's actually just bits of the old leaves that have dried up, because I do actually know what mealybugs look like. Now, I definitely need to give this more light. I had it under a 24 watt light, but I think it needs to be under my 100 watt one because you can see how much it's stretching out. I think these guys need like a ton of light to look good, but even in this green form, just kind of in the like bonsai-esque style, like looking like a little shrub, I'm honestly really into that, just the way it is. So this is one of my top plants that surprised me with how much I enjoy it. Okay, last we have some Anthuriums. This one here is a King of Clarinervium. This is probably my third or fourth King of Clarinervium that I've purchased. I actually have another one right now, but it's not like thriving. Maybe it's close enough. Maybe I can just grab it. See, this is the other one that I have, which I believe is like a TC one. I'm not sure if this is like originally TC, but this one is definitely imported. I feel like this one is a little bit more veiny versus the other one, but it might just be a maturity thing. I'm not sure. They might be the same. It might not matter. Anyways, this has been probably one of my favorite plants from when I very first started collecting. So I really, really want to actually grow one out. I don't know why I struggle so much with it. I just tend to struggle with the Clarinervium type Anthuriums. I always have, and I don't know why they don't like me when when they're supposed to be the easy ones, you know? But that is a beautiful plant, and I hope I can get some mature leaves out of it. This next one is really special because this one is a gift from my mom that I've wanted for a very, very long time. It's so pretty. This is Anthurium antolaki, formerly known as Black Velvet Eastern Panama. It's getting a nice new leaf that is a very bright cherry-ish red color. I really have to block my face or it will not focus. Isn't that so pretty? I find reds never show up as good on screen as they do in real life, but it is quite bright. And the texture of the leaves and the veining is very unique, I find. This is still a relatively small one, but I think it'll size up quickly and get nice and dark. I had what I thought was a antolaki, but it turned out to actually be a Dresleriae. So now I have the real deal and I'm very excited. So thank you. This is an awesome gift. The last two Anthuriums I have, there's like an Anthuriums Canada Facebook group where the hardcore Anthurium collectors are. And whenever they release propagations or seedlings, I'm always too slow. I always miss it. I don't love buying stuff on Facebook groups. I find the whole like commenting system really clunky and it's not my favorite, but like I get it. I just happened to be looking through at the right time when they were selling some like really great plants that have kind of been on my wish list for a while. So yes, I also hate a lot on the like fancy name brand Anthuriums, but it is pretty cool that for some of these plants you can track their parentage, you can see what the exact parents are so you have a bit better idea of what you're getting, and that's why they command higher prices and have special names and whatever. So I kind of splurged and went a little bit more than I would normally pay for Anthuriums, but I think it's worth it. So this cute little one here, this one, and I really hope the coloration actually comes off on camera like it does in real life. This one is still immature, so obviously it's only going to get better with time. You may have already read the tag. It's a Tazula red crystallinum, but purple. It's like supposed to have purple emergence. I already have an NSC red crystallinum, but it's struggling right now. I'm not sure if it'll make it. So I kind of wanted another red crystallinum anyways. And the purple emergent ones are just kind of like top tier for me. I really like the more like jewel tones, the more cool toned of the red crystallinums. So this one seems like it'll be something really quite special, especially because at this size, you're already starting to see some pigment. It'll only get more pigmented in the future. So very excited about that one. And this last one is another plant that's been on my wish list. So this is an Anthurium Carla Blackier, which isn't like a fancy crystallinum. Yes, kind of. So Anthurium carlablacea, there are a lot of different types. Each type kind of has its own name. So what people buy them for is they've got really, really dark foliage. They've got really, really unique veining patterns, and the veining is quite clean and crisp, whereas on a crystallinum it looks a bit more bubbly, if that makes sense. That's where the like crystalliness comes from, is almost like little air bubbles in the veins. And there's a lot of different patterns that the veins come in. So the ones that I like are, one, really, really, really super dark, and two, I like the sort of like spidery veining pattern where the veins don't go all the way to the edge, they kind of stop beforehand. This one is already doing that as like an immature plant, and generally they only get more veiny with time. So this one seemed like it would be a really good, just has really good potential to me. You can see on like the immature leaves that you can't really tell what it's gonna be like, which is also why I wouldn't want to purchase a seedling, even though it would be cheaper, just because I know some people have the space to keep like lots of multiples. I don't. I kind of just want one that is still in the like realm of affordability, but has the traits that I want, versus buying something cheaper and then being disappointed when it grows up. So this one seemed like a good gamble, and I figured I'm not usually around when these carlablacas become available anyway, so I should just go for it. It's a bit of a treat for myself. And that is it for today. Please tell me what your favorite was. Mine, of all of them, honestly, the Huperzias Hang Hong is pretty hard to beat, but I'm really excited about those last 3 Anthuriums I showed you too. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.